Hey everyone, welcome to It's Virtually Lunch with, you know him on our show as the mighty Sam Proof, but how do you like to refer to yourself normally?
I'm just Sam Proof.
Just Sam Proof?
Or Sam Proof the Internet Viking. I haven't gone by that
great.
moniker in a while.
I love the Internet Viking.
That is my original YouTube.
Straw should you need
Oh yes,
one,
I will
sir.
contribute to the...
The funny thing is, so here in California, I believe it's all of California,
Yeah.
not just LA, that they have decided to nix straws as like an immediate option.
Yeah.
So the first day that they did that,
Yeah.
I suddenly like the fountain drink or cup drinking.exe file didn't execute, and I was like, how do you drink from this thing?
Yeah.
But
The paper alternative is less desirable.
it really is. It really is. So basically, if you guys want to follow Sam Proof, by the way, it's at Sam Proof on all the things, and I know that for a fact. Do we have that?
Only thing I'm not at Sam Proof on is TikTok because I was late to the game.
Really?
It was one of those things where I was like, I'm never gonna do this. And then when I finally gave in, somebody had taken it and I was like, you son of a bitch.
Wow.
And I used to be really good at the minute anything popped off whatsoever, I'd be like, I'm registering my name just to get it.
Napkin, sir.
And it was
that's
the greatest mistake of my life.
I never did that. I never did that, and that was my downfall. I should have always had done that, but you know what? It's okay. It's all right this time. So we got today on the show. We have Philly's best. I got an actual steak cheesesteak, and he has a chicken cheesesteak.
Yeah.
But why did you choose the Philly cheesesteaks today, sir?
I am actually from a small town just outside of Philadelphia called Ballackinwood.
Okay.
So on the main line, which for those sports fans will know that's where Kobe Bryant grew up. We went to the same high school, but not at the same time.
He's a little bit older than you, or younger?
He would have been 5 years younger than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it like seeing him with all that money, knowing that he was from your place?
I honestly, didn't while I was still in Pennsylvania, didn't know about him until I'd come out here and, he'd joined the team and all that. And then I was like, oh wait, he's from Lower Merion? What?
Jeez.
So it was like, yeah, okay. Why wasn't I still there? If I had just held back a grade, I could have been hitting him up for milk money.
Seriously. I know that guy just speaks like 18 languages and stuff. I miss him. I do miss him. He was a big part of our community.
Yeah.
Really, really fun. But we're back here again at Lake Balboa.
Yeah.
You can see everybody walking around. I like it.
Yeah.
Ducks on the lake, and
Swan boat.
people on the swan boats. It's so great. But the reason why I wanted to talk with Mr. Sam Proof is because he's had an interesting life out here in LA. We met each other through Mob Crush, which is where you're currently working, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
He's working on Mob Crush. If you guys don't know, Mob Crush is it's a multi-platform. If you're trying to stream a bunch of different platforms, Mob Crush can handle it, and they do their thing. So he's working with Mob Crush, but that's how we met, because I was on the Coin Boys with him, and he was producing our show, like a badass. But also, so what did you do prior to Mob Crush? Because we'll get to the big one that many people know you from.
Sure.
Right? But
I mean, I really came out to Los Angeles to be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was first looking for jobs, I took a lot of small production jobs. So I did a lot of different things. I was in pretty much any department whatsoever, from art department on reality shows and a Roger Corman film. It's really funny because I worked my way down the art department. I made a connection early on, and just the timing synced up with this Roger Corman LA Film School collaboration where they were going to do a 3-film deal, and the students were going to produce everything. I happened to be really good friends with a student who got to be the producer of it, and he was like, you should be art director. And I was like, great, I'll do that. What's that mean?
by the way, that's how most jobs in Hollywood kind of are. You're like, you should be this, and you're like, I don't know what that is, but yes, because you need the fucking money, basically.
Yeah. So I did that. I art directed. I forget what the final name on that movie was. I think it was originally a remake of a Corman movie called The gateway or the door, and then it became like Demon Slayer, which later on, apparently there's anime with the exact same title, so you can never find the Corman film anymore. But yeah, from that, I went down to like a set dresser and then like a PA. I don't know.
Get your ups and downs. It's okay.
Yeah, I ended up working a lot of reality television stuff. I did, for a couple of, like about 3 or 4 years, I did Dish Nation, which is entertainment news.
I think I know Dish Nation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very multicultural.
It was like a bunch of different radio people, right?
Yeah,
From
that's
different
it. Yeah, they
areas.
had like Atlanta, Texas.
So
I'm going to say Houston, but it might have been Dallas.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you
know.
were just basically, they were recording 4 different radio stations or 5 different, however many that they had, and they
Yeah.
were talking about entertainment news and things like
Yeah.
that. Interesting.
Yep.
I tried to watch that show. I tried,
I didn't.
but I was like, yeah, no, they're kind of rough sometimes.
Honestly, it's not my thing. And like, there was a good 3-year period where I was like, I don't need to know who Little Nas is. Like, this, I'm pulling a random name out of a hat, but like, it was people of lesser quality where I was like, I don't know why this person is news.
Yeah.
Why I have to edit this.
Now,
No offense, Little Nas, please don't kill me.
actually, I think he's bumped up quite a bit as of
Okay.
late. As of late,
Yes.
but prior, it was not the bump that we're used to. In any case, let's get into this Philly cheesesteak real quick.
All right. I'm in it. And thanks for
No,
this,
what?
man. This is great.
Oh, please. Now, why? First off, I got a regular Philly cheesesteak with whiz and mushrooms and sweet onions and grilled onions. I got everything that I possibly put on this thing.
Nice.
In Philly, what's a traditional, like, basic, what you'd get if I got a cheesesteak?
Well, the big sort of battle in Philly is Geno's versus Pat's, and which one is, the original and which one does the right thing. They both do both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You get like a cheesesteak with whiz and either onions or no. And that's pretty much it. Or you get a cheesesteak with American cheese.
Got it. I was told with whiz, but I feel like I should have also added like other cheeses. I don't think you can stop too much on cheeses, but Philly's
Yeah.
Philly's best is a West Coast chain, small chain, and I don't know how deep in or how up and down the West Coast it goes, but I know it's a few here in LA.
Yeah, I only know of like 3 locations, but
Yeah.
I think their pamphlets has like 7.
Probably. In any case, what they tout themselves as having is the bread. What
Yeah.
kind of bread is this?
This is an Amorosa roll, which is baked in Philly, and it's just this soft,
It is.
like amazing roll. And it's not like a hot dog roll because it's still got a little crispiness on the outside. But yeah, it's just a perfect roll. And like, you can't get these at Ralph's. Like they have rolls at Ralph's. They're not this. They're not as good. They're very dense. These are light.
Could we not make it here in LA? Like, what's the issue with that?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm
'Cause
sure people are going to
it's like-
say it's the water and like
Yeah, it's like
the
New York pizza,
pizza
the water,
thing, right?
It's the bagels, it's the water. It's
I think-
all water.
I think what it really comes down to, and this is not an educated guess, this is just I've made pizza for 30 years, and I think it's the yeast.
Oh,
Because yeast is different out here. And even if you took the yeast from there to here, it reacts different to whatever's in the water and the air.
I think that's what I think the yeast is makes sense because that's how we were able to make sourdough bread here better than in other than
Yeah.
East Coast or wherever it may be. By the way, what you're hearing is the sound of what I like to call the dingling man.
Is that the fruit guy or the ice cream guy?
That is the he is a combination fruit and paletero, which means he sells popsicles.
Okay.
But like very juice-based popsicles are probably.
Whoa, hi,
hey, little
bird.
guy.
Don't poop on
That's
me.
why I like going out here. But anyways, they probably have more healthy. It's probably
Better
healthier
popsicles
than like your popsicle brand popsicles.
than your Otter Pop tube.
Yeah.
You're like
Yes.
crushed ice of
It's-
syrup.
It's basically just syrup in those things. So this one has more juices, and sometimes you'll
Nice.
actually get pulp in. Your,
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty.
That's pretty good.
Straight up. But these are pretty strong. They had a lot of choices. But I went with their basic. I went with the one that they kind of go with, and not gonna lie, not bad.
Right on. Yeah, no, it is my favorite cheesesteak in the Los Angeles area. And honestly, compared to like Philadelphia cheesesteaks, it might be in my top 10.
Really?
Yeah. It's a solid cheesesteak.
That's not bad.
Like, they've got all the right things.
Well, hopefully next time they'll pay us in food. That's fine by me.
Did you get a loyalty card? You get
Not yet.
two
not
punches?
Yet.
Oh, you didn't get two punches?
I didn't get my 2 punches, and I'll tell you why. I don't get enough cheesesteaks throughout the year that I want to have. Like, when they give you a loyalty card, that's a responsibility that you're just
to
like,
get
oh
that.
God. Oh God.
Now I have to eat 11 sandwiches.
And you start heart palpitations, and you're just like, oh my God, please.
That's when you have to get the loyalty card for the heart surgeon. You're like, doctor,
11
I'm here for my 11th heart
11 heart-
attack.
11 heart attacks, you get like a nice colonoscopy for free. And that's how it works here in LA. But
That's the Kaiser plan.
the only, it really, it's not a PPO, but it would be right on the nose if it was a PPO.
More like a POS.
Yeah, that's what it is. Basically what it is. I wanted to go a little bit further into, because you are one of the funnier guys that I chat with, and I love it.
Hey. Yay me.
You got into Tim and Eric. Awesome show, great job. And that's the one that a lot of people will recognize you.
Yes. Till this day.
Till this
And that's
day.
10 years ago.
Which is insane. Now, I gotta be honest. I don't know if I ever told you, but I never particularly liked that show. I like Tim and Eric. I like Tom Goes to the Mayor.
I love Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Love Tom Goes to the Mayor.
I'm going to back you up on everything you're about to say.
It's just that one just for me was like a little bit too much for me, but a lot of people did like it.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see why it was funny, and I can see why people enjoyed it, and all that stuff. So how did you get involved in that show?
Yeah, I'll just to back up on to what you just said, like, going into it, no idea what they were. I'd never heard of Tim and Eric.
Okay.
I had been pushed along as an actor miraculously, like almost against my own will. So the chain of events that led me to Tim and Eric, I drove a friend of mine to Central Casting. Central Casting, for anyone who doesn't know, is where all of those people who aren't speaking in the show or movie you're watching, that's where they cast those people from, background actors or extras, whatever you want to call them. And there's just a giant database of people. So twice a month or something, people line up. This is, 12 years ago at this point. It's probably very different now with the internet, the way it is. People would line up outside Central Casting and wait for hours to get booked.
I did that.
Just to get booked in their database.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was if you're a struggling actor in LA and you don't start off in Central Casting, you're running a risk of eating the next day. Basically.
Yeah.
That's the way you kind of make your money on the side if you want to stay within the acting realm.
Yeah. Oh, I'll put this down here.
Oh, go for it
if you want it. So yeah, I drove my friend there. It was actually like my friend's wife or something like that, if I remember right. I don't even remember their names anymore. It's been so long. And I was like, geez, what's the cursing level on this?
As far as you want to go.
I was like, holy shit balls. No. I was like,
no, balls is too much. Though.
Okay, sorry. Oh, shit farts.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here for 3 hours in this line with, waiting. And I was like, I might as well just do this. So I went through the whole process. I think I paid like $20 at the time to be registered or something. Maybe it was twice that. It wasn't.
They paid you?
No, I paid to be
paid,
registered in their database.
I was about to say.
Right. And you go through this whole thing. You take your picture. They enter some details, and then they tell you very bluntly, call this hotline because we are never going to call you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, this sounds like a real pain in the ass. I'm never going to get a job. I'm never going to do this. I maybe called the hotline once, and like a week after I had been entered in, my phone rings, and it's this guy from Central Casting. He's like, we have these roles. It's like a startup or something like that, and like, if you're interested, he asked me a few questions, and they like go to Warner Brothers, blah blah blah, do this thing. I was like, okay, cool. You guys aren't supposed to call me, apparently, but great.
But you got lucky.
Ironically, I was literally working at a startup for real, So all of my clothes were startup clothes. And I went down, and it was Drew Carey.
Oh.
It was the Drew Carey show.
Okay, I was wondering why you were going to Warner Brothers. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm the only guy that looks like me in this thing. Everyone else is like typical white dude. Like,
No.
not that I'm too far off
You,
of that.
you
but,
can't see it,
Oh yeah, there
but
we
he's
go.
got these massive dreads here.
And I had them. I had them back then.
Yeah. So he's unique in style, but he
Yeah.
can hide it kind of well.
Yeah, I think I walked in with my leather jacket on, which I would have worn here because it was a little chilly.
It is
But
a
I was
little
like, I
chilly,
don't know,
my
skateboarding and the jacket seems like hard to do.
It was.
And yeah, so they asked me a few like questions, and I think one of the questions was like, "What do you do for your day job?" And I was like, "I work at a .com." The next day, they were like, "We'd like you to come on as a oh god, I forget what the official thing was, an office extra."
Oh,
This,
really?
this was like later on in their season. It was like season 7 and 8 or something like that,
Okay.
when they were just about to peter out.
Okay.
So they were outside of the original department store and moved on to a .com. And so I was a regular. I was there almost every single episode for that first season I
awesome.
was there. Yeah. Got my SAG card through Drew Carey. And then I was on for hit or miss that last season because they didn't do as much in office. One of the other extras called me up at some point when the show was basically petering down and was like, "Hey Sam, I just became an agent for this management company. I am like the head of their children's division. By the way, you're my only adult client." And I was like, "Sorry, what's happening now?" And she was like, "I'm gonna represent you." And I was like, "How is this? What is happening here?" And I was like, "Okay."
And that's how agents kind of start off.
Right? So FYI, she's busy now. If anyone else wants to represent me, let me know.
Oh.
Yeah. So like 2 weeks after this happened, she's like, "I got you an audition." And I was like, "Okay, what's it for?" And she was like, "It's a show called Tim and Eric." I was like, "I've never heard of it. What is it?" And she's like, "I don't know. Look it up online. And your audition is blah, blah, blah." You know, and I was like, "Okay." And I Google something, and the first thing I see was like really bad. It was all poop jokes.
Yes.
And it was just like, you know, it was that awkward thing they do, but without reference to that awkward thing they do, it was real awkward.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Man, do I have to do this?" And she was like, "It's fine, just go for the experience of, you know, auditioning or whatever," because I hadn't really done many of those. So I went, and once again, I get there, and it's like a weird cavalcade of just different people and character types, and I was like, none of these people look like me again. Interesting.
That's always good.
And they told you to prepare a dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue, which was super weird. So
But I could understand if you watch Tim and Eric. I could understand why the dramatic monologue would make sense because if you're gonna be on Tim and Eric, if you're gonna do any of their style of comedy, you need to be damn serious.
Yeah.
Like you cannot break
yeah,
at all.
that's
Okay.
true. That's true. So I prepared. Have you ever seen Noah Baumbach's Kicking and Screaming, which is not the Will Ferrell movie?
Nope.
Okay.
I've seen the Will Ferrell one.
Yeah, it's a Parker Posey, Eric Stoltz
Okay.
kind of movie.
Okay.
You know, I think they may actually both be in that. It's just been a long time. Eric Stoltz is definitely in it. Yeah, they're both in it. They're both in it.
If you want to know who Eric Stoltz is, watch Back to the Future and then go. That's what Eric Stoltz should have been doing.
Yes. Oh my God. But it wouldn't have been better.
It would have been awful. It was. It
would've
looked
been-
like you can actually look up Eric Stoltz in Back to the
Audition.
Future. You can see they shot it.
Oh.
They shot it.
What?
They shot almost the entire movie with Eric Stoltz.
I didn't know that far. Oh my
and
God.
then they're like, you know what? He sucks.
Oh my
Basically,
God.
and they begged to bring in Michael J. Fox, and they reshot the whole thing again with Michael J. Fox.
Wow.
So
dude.
it was like 3/4 of the way done when they realized they had to do it again.
Release the Stoltz cut.
Release the Stoltz. It's gonna be better for the Flash if you release the Stoltz cut.
Oh man.
But anyways, so
Yeah.
that's our little side tangent. But so you got the dramatic
All
monologue.
right,
you
so I
did
got this, very indie dramatic monologue about Prague and all of this girlfriend stuff, and I go in, and I'm like surrounded by all these people, and I'm like, "Am I in the right place? You guys here for Tim and Eric?" And right before they call me, the door opens, and this like 6'2" black dude with dreads comes out, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? I know this guy.
Because he looks familiar? Okay.
And the dude next to me goes, dude, that's the guy from, and I'm gonna say he said 48 Hours, but I think that's wrong.
Okay.
This guy's been in like hundreds of movies as that roller skating guitar guy on Santa Monica Boardwalk.
Okay. Got it.
And it may have been 48 Hours, but it may have been some other 80s cop movie.
But that's his shtick. Like,
But yeah, he
dreaded guy.
is probably one of the most known background actors who never said a word in any movie ever. I don't know if he's still alive anymore. And I'm like,
It's like the one Latino gang member who's in every single background actor as that. Got
So I'm like, well, that guy clearly got this part because he's the only other person here with dreads.
Yeah.
So I go in, and it's just me and one casting director, nobody else. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do this thing. I deliver my dramatic monologue, and I'm like, yeah, any notes? You want me to do it again, different way, anything? She's like, no, you're good. So I leave, and I'm like, okay, I screwed that up. That's done. I'm terrible. I'm like, I don't know, a week later, I'm like down in the studio at Hollywood and like on this big green screen set with Tim and Eric.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. They were really nice. They were super cool dudes. I think Bob Odenkirk was there, but again, I didn't know who Bob Odenkirk was at the time. So when this tall white dude came in and was like, hey, how you doing? You need anything? I didn't know. He's just like, I'm a producer here. I'm like, okay. But going back over it, I'm like, pretty sure that's who that was.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So how many episodes of that? Because you didn't do it just one time.
I did
right?
it just one time.
Really?
Yeah.
But did they repeat you, or how is it that you became so
It
iconic
is
a part of a piece of the show? I mean, that's basically you're like Tim and Eric's soup Nazi.
Yeah. So I was episode 1 of season 2. I was in bookends, so I'm the very start of the show, I'm the very end of the show, and then I'm the musical thing that happens in the
Yes.
show. I don't know if there's
Which I've
another
seen.
song, but that song is one of their top 10 most played songs. So it is in the hearts of the people.
Nice.
And sadly, I did not sing a line. It was all written and recorded before I even got there.
So it was just you dubbing it.
It was all
basically.
lip sync, yeah.
Okay, lip syncing.
I don't
Sorry,
even know
not
if I
dubbing,
lip
it's
sync at this point. I think I just danced along, but it's implied that I'm there singing it, but I'm not.
And so, have you done any other acting since, or just
No,
to the
I'm
behind the
actually
scenes?
dead at this point.
Yeah, basically, that's what happens.
Yeah,
Back
I didn't
to the
really-
Philly cheese.
I did not really go on from that to do much of anything. I went back into work on reality television, and I was doing a lot of stuff on like YouTube at the time, and Stickam, which was the equivalent of Twitch, back when Twitch started.
Stickam?
Yeah. So Stickam was sort of like the original breakout live streaming service. They weren't the first, but they were the first to really become big. They had something like 9 million users in their database.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's actually quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
For back then, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing now? Because what I'm trying to get you to go towards is what
If you
you're
need
streaming.
me to say something, just tell me what
No,
to say.
basically, I want you to talk about your cute
Dan
avalanche.
is amazing.
And
and
thank you. Thank you. No, I want to talk about you because you have a passion for cats.
I do.
Is it specifically just cats, or like also dogs too, or just cats?
I love all animals.
Yeah,
But cats and dogs. I've had cats and dogs all throughout my life. So actually, Stickam is a really good jumping off point for that, because that was a thing that I was doing at the time. I'd gotten really big on it. I was actually the seventh most viewed.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
You're in it either way. It's okay. Trust me. You're all right. This is the best part about 360 stuff is no matter where you're at, you can actually see people walking around while we're doing this interview. Duckies and everything. I love it.
Yeah, so I was the 7th most viewed channel on Stickam at the time. So I had several million, I think 5 million views or something like that at that point. And that all ended, I think 2013 they closed down, and I was very sad, and I was like, holy crap. I had like 10,000 followers, which at the time was a lot of followers.
It is.
I may have had even more. And I was like, they're all gone now. I can't get them to go anywhere else. Because really at those days, there wasn't a lot of other places to go.
Yeah, really.
I had YouTube, and a few of them were over there, but it pretty much, my legacy of live streaming died with that. And cut to, got married, had kids, and like my ability to do things in free time became zero. So for a good 8 years, I did nothing. I had no live streaming going on. I wasn't doing YouTube anymore and all of that stuff. So my wife came to me one day and was like, I'd like to get involved in fostering kittens, I think. And I was like, okay, that's cool. The internet loves cats. If you do that, I want to live stream it. That's the stipulation.
Okay.
And I was like, it's not a can I, it's a this is the trade. I will do this if you do this. And she was like, okay. She was not interested in it. She thought it was like not going to be cool. It would be very intrusive, which it kind of is.
To an extent.
But so yeah, when she started fostering finally, I set up a live stream. There were a few different iterations, but eventually it became not just a 24/7 live stream, a multi-platform live stream, which shows up on 12 different websites, sometimes more depending on what's out there. And a lot of that is actually thanks to Bob Crush, because I didn't even know that was a possibility until my friend Phil Ranta started working at Mob Crush, and he called me up and he was like, Sam, you do a lot of live streaming. Can you take a look at this and tell me what you think?
So we got the board games, and but he also has Cute Avalanche. So it's /SamProof/ Cute Avalanche. Is the Cute Avalanche basically everywhere? Or?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
so wherever you're at, any support you guys can give, he helps out a lot of kitties.
Yeah,
basically.
we've been fostering for 4 years. We have we've fostered and housed over 100 kittens at this point. And it basically comes down to about 6 litters a year, 23, 26 kittens a year.
Wow.
Yeah, so far. And we actually just kind of doubled our capacity, so it's probably going to grow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
And a lot of that actually is not coming out of my salary. It is because of our viewers and our community that we can actually do what we do. Like when it was the very first year, which granted was not a full year, on just what I could afford, we saved like 7.
Oh, okay.
So we've tripled.
That's great.
What we can do.
I'll tell you, you can go to my backyard, you will have a ton of kittens because I see them all the time.
Nice.
I name them. My daughter accidentally
I remember you
pet
a story of one
pet
of
a
that.
little litter. A little. I was like, please.
Yeah, for
Get away.
sure. And worms.
And worms. And so many things that my daughter was just like, I'm digging in the dirt and touching you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think anytime that you can utilize the technology to help other people, help other animals, help anybody, it's always badass.
Yeah.
That was great. Anything else where people can follow you, see you, hang out with you, have lunch with you?
So, I recently started doing TikTok for both me and the kittens.
Okay.
So Cute Avalanche is on TikTok, and Official Sam Proof is on TikTok because I missed the boat on that one.
But it's better actually that you have official Sam
I'm
Proof,
official.
because you're the Sam Proof.
Yeah. The would be a shorter word.
Well, that's true.
Change it.
That's true, actually.
There's a girl that has just Sam Proof, and I sent her a message and have not heard back.
Does she actually use it?
She does
or
not
no?
actively use it.
I hate that.
I think
hate that.
since I joined, she added like one video, and I'm like, So I'm hoping I can grow, not very fast, but just faster than her, so that if she ever does log on and responds, I can be like, if you do this, I'll give you a big shout out, and you'll get like a few extra friends.
Yeah.
You
Why
know?
not?
But not to the point where she's
but
like,
it
you're
wasn't-
huge,
it
pay me
wasn't-
money.
And it wasn't even like, that was no bait for her. That was 0 bait.
Right.
Oh, man. If you look up Daniel Gutierrez on Google, you will get a motivational speaker.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look it up on IMDb, you'll get a guy who supposedly did something called the marijuana logs.
Oh, interesting.
Which at the time, I was like, I don't want to be associated with that. But now I'm like, I wish I wrote it, kind of scenario. I wish I had written it.
Right.
There we go. Guys, thank you so much. That was delicious. Philly's best Philly cheesesteak. Simple lunch conversation. We'll be doing this again next week. So please subscribe, hit all the likes, hit everything. Follow at Sam Proof. Follow us at It's VRA Podcast. Again, we do a live stream every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Twitch. Definitely check it out. And also take a look around. Watch us again. Look all over the place.
Watch out for the...
See you guys soon.
Cool.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Ben.